So earlier today, we got a leak of the original version of Kendrick Lamar's Element off of the Damn album, which dropped in 2017. And the main thing that everyone listened to and the main thing that caught everyone's attention was a section of the second verse where some shots are fired. Now, the other thing that is notable with this is that the beat is not the Element beat. It is the Paramedic beat, which was off of the Black Panther soundtrack. So it definitely sounds a little weird. Someone did upload the whole video or whole song to YouTube, so you can definitely go and find that. And it kind of makes sense. It kind of flows together. It just sounds a little weird because we're so used to the original or official beat. Now, going back to those shots that were fired, he threw some shots at French Montana, Jay Electronica, and Big Sean, as well as mentioning Drake and Meek Mill, but those two are more in reference to Big Sean rather than a diss directly towards them. So, let's take a look at what he said. So with French Montana, Kendrick says,
French Montana speaking on me in interviews, very cynical, dry hating something I don't approve.
Which, from what I can gather, refers to a 2016 Breakfast Club interview, where French alluded to the industry essentially pushing Kendrick's music forward.
I feel like they just position you as the new face of hip hop, so now people gonna start, you know what I'm saying?
You're saying the marketing of Kendrick is he's the new face of hip hop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So they put him on that platform so they could shift music towards that direction.
And this was also the year, I believe, where he got a bunch of Grammy nominations. So French Montana was essentially saying, oh yeah, no, like Kendrick's doing good, but it's almost like the industry is putting his music forward and that's what they want to hear next. And, you know, kind of insinuating that he's a plant or like he's in cahoots with the industry. Like, it basically just making it sound like he's jealous. So whatever Kendrick said to him kind of makes sense. And very clearly, we did not get Kendrick's sound going forward because this was in regards to Pimp a Butterfly. And that was a very one-off thing. Like, yes, it was promoted and talked a lot about, but that made sense at that time because it was so different from what we've been hearing. And, you know, whatever. But very clearly, that's not what we got going forward, especially not from someone like French Montana. Now, the second person that he mentioned was Jay Electronica. And this one I had to dig a little bit more for. And I found a couple of reasons why he may have mentioned him. But first, what Kendrick said was,
Jay Electronica through silences on my Grammy night. Another dead prophet, hoping the God again.
if you know Jay Electronica or know his music, the God bit and prophet bit makes sense. Jay Electronica makes references to stuff like that all the time. I mean, but also I don't pretend to know Jay Electronica very well, so you know, you probably know more than I do regarding Jay Electronica's verses and lives. But with that said, the things that I believe Kendrick is in or referring to are two things. The first was this time that Jay Electronica was on Periscope, where he said something along the lines of,
look, you couldn't pay Kendrick $1 million. Kendrick wouldn't tell you. Kendrick could tell you himself he couldn't body me. Kendrick, look, Kendrick is my son. Kendrick is my baby. Kendrick wishes that he could be me.
which just sounds like a drunken rambling from Jay Electronica, which is probably what it was. But then it's almost like he doubled down because we got on The Curse of Mayweather.
He's got 11 Grammy nominations, y'all not equal.
Man, fuck these white people.
Which was mostly, it mostly just felt like he's saying that Kendrick got all these Grammy nominations, and the reason that Jay Electronica is not getting those is because of the things that they rap about, the person that he is, whatever. But also, there's all these memes about Jay Electronica being like in the Rothschild family, like, so just one of the oldest families in New York and all that shit, so he should be getting all this attention. But that's also why he hasn't been dropping music, because he has money now and doesn't have to do shit anymore. anyways, I don't know if any of that is true. It's just what's happening. So, Kendrick saying those things makes sense. Jay Electronica did later on apologize for what he said, so there's that, I guess, but I don't anticipate them really working together anytime soon. Now, the final person that he mentioned was Big Sean. And, there's always been kind of rumblings that Kendrick and Big Sean had beef. And actually, if I remember correctly, when Humble came out, which was the first single for the album, the way that Kendrick was saying "Lil Bitch" sounded a lot like a Big Sean reference, and it sounded, or a lot of people were trying to say that, oh no, Kendrick is just talking shit about Big Sean. He's using what he says, but directed towards Big Sean. So I mean, maybe that was the case, and maybe that was something that happened, and maybe that's his way of dissing Big Sean on Damn. But basically what he said is, this is just a response to all the subliminals that Big Sean's been throwing out at him, and he said something along the lines of,
You're finally famous for who you date, not how you rhyme, boy. Cute ass raps, get your puberty up.
Finally Famous being the album, and he's finally famous for the people that he dates, because he was dating a lot of celebrities like Ariana Grande at that point. And then, I don't think anyone, well, I don't want to say anyone, but I don't think there's a lot of people who think that Big Sean necessarily raps well. So maybe he was just saying what everyone else had on their mind. But regarding that beef, apparently it's non-existent, because a couple years ago, Big Sean had an interview with Joe Budden and was asked about it, and he said something like he talked to Punch, and Punch was like, oh no, it's a misunderstanding, all that shit. So, whatever. Now, the other thing that everyone is wondering with this track in particular is whether or not it's real. And the answer is yeah, probably. Because in 2019, we actually also got a snippet of that Big Sean diss. So it kind of checks out. It is entirely possible that someone used AI to pull that and just make the rest of that verse. But honestly, it seems very intentional, like the things that he said, and it doesn't seem like just random AI ramblings. So whatever. It could also have been the AI, or the type of AI where someone writes it out and raps it and then changes their voice to sound like Kendrick. I don't know, but I don't think it's an AI song, but I would not have been surprised if it was, because there's so much AI music out there right now. Now, regarding the song itself, I'm not surprised that he didn't release it, because that would have stirred up a lot of drama, which is not something that Kendrick would want to do, I don't believe. Kendrick isn't the type of person to be doing this shit. If he's gonna diss somebody, he's gonna say it more subliminally, and if he's mentioned somebody's name, it's usually not in a negative way, at least from everything other than Control. And this came out this would have come out in 2017, so about 4 years after Control. So maybe this is supposed to be a follow-up to that verse. I don't know. But again, it is also just half a verse. So I think he just had some stuff on his mind. It does fit well as far as the song is concerned, to be honest. And if you forget that element exists and just assume that this is how the song was supposed to be, it's supposed to be on the paramedic beat and it's supposed to be delivered this way, it kind of works. But, given that element exists and given the whole vibe of Damn, this verse in particular, or this section of the verse in particular, didn't really work. With all that said, though, let me know in the comments below what you guys think of this leaked verse or the version. Let me know if there's also any other references to the people that he dissed that I may have missed. And while you're down there, like and subscribe to see more ramblings and content like this. Thank you for watching, and please stay safe out there, or Kendrick will diss you.